Have you ever felt like your mind is a Formula One car and your thoughts are pushing the pedal to the metal, racing at breakneck speeds, leaving you gasping for a breath of clarity? You are not the only one in this race, my friend. Together, we're going to find that pit stop, change the tires of our perspective, and slow down to savor the scenic route of life. In the grand arena of life, an ancient emperor and philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, left us with a powerful strategy to win this race. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is not just about crossing the finish line. It's about the strength we gain in every lap of mastering our minds. If you're ready to embrace this wisdom and join our legion of growth, hit that subscribe button now. Let's ignite the engines of change. Now picture your mind as a lush garden, vibrant with thoughts as flowers in full bloom. But lurking beneath the surface are the weeds of overthinking, creeping in to choke out the beauty of the present moment. We've all been there, haven't we? Lost in the maze of what-ifs and maybes, our mental clarity clouded. Today, we cut through the fog and reclaim the fertile ground of our thoughts. Here are 10 simple yet profound strategies to clear away those weeds, inspired by Stoic philosophy and the poetic wisdom of Hafez and Rumi. One, visualize overthinking as a passing breeze. Imagine your overthinking not as a storm within you, but as a breeze passing by, a temporary gust that ruffles but does not uproot. Picture each thought that comes with the wind as a leaf that has been caught in its playful dance. These leaves might circle around, drawing your attention, but like the wise Rumi once said, "This too shall pass." Visualize yourself as a tree, your roots deep within the earth, your branches high in the sky. The leaves of overthinking may flutter and shake your branches, yet they are not permanent fixtures. They are mere visitors passing through your canopy. Allow these leaves to come and to go, to be picked up by the wind of your breath. With each exhale, release a leaf. Watch it spiral away, growing smaller and less significant as it disappears into the distance. This is the natural ebb and flow of your inner world, a landscape where thoughts come like the wind and go just the same. This practice is an art of mental liberation, detaching from the persistent swirl of worries and doubts. It's a serene acceptance that our thoughts do not define us. They are simply fleeting patterns in the vast sky of our consciousness. By seeing them as separate, you gain the power to let them pass without disturbance, keeping your inner self still and undisturbed, rooted in the calm of your true nature. 2. Ground yourself in the present moment. In the ceaseless race of thoughts, our minds often neglect the only place where life truly unfolds, the present. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher king, once offered a beacon of wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Within this insight lies a profound strategy for tranquility. Anchor your consciousness in the now. Imagine your overthinking as a bird that soars high above, surveying the lands of past and future. Now, bring that bird down to roost in the sturdy branches of the present. Feel the solidity of the earth beneath you, the rhythmic rise and fall of your chest with each breath, the symphony of the living world around you. These are the anchors that tether you to the now. When your mind wanders into the thicket of what has been or what might be, gently guide it back to the simplicity of the present moment. Focus on the sensations that envelop you, the brush of air on your skin, the subtle flavors on your tongue, the kaleidoscope of colors before your eyes. Each sensory experience is a strand that weaves the tapestry of the present. a tapestry that exists independently of your worries and anticipations. By grounding yourself in the now, you cultivate a space where overthinking loses its grip, where your mind, like a time-worn rock, remains unmoved by the torrents of time. This is the space where you can observe the dance of existence with clarity and embrace life with open arms, unshackled by the chains of ceaseless thought. 3. Embrace life's impermanence. The future is a canvas of possibilities, and the past a gallery of experiences. But often we find ourselves trapped in this timeline, our minds entangled in the what-ifs and if-onlys. To escape this bind, we can draw wisdom from the words of the ancient poet Hafez. This place where you are right now, God circled on a map for you. It's a reminder of the transient nature of our worries and the impermanence of our current state. Embracing life's impermanence is to understand that our overthinking, those persistent whispers of doubt and fear, are as fleeting as the seasons. Just as the bold hues of autumn leaves give way to the starkness of winter, only to be reborn in the verdancy of spring, our thoughts too are temporary guests in the inn of our minds. They check in and check out, leaving room for new thoughts and perspectives. When you feel besieged by the barrage of overthinking, take a deep breath and look around you. Everything you see is in a state of flux. The walls around you, the streets outside, even the device you hold. Nothing is static. Everything is evolving, including your thoughts. Let this realization wash over you like the gentle waves of an ocean, eroding the solidity of your concerns and smoothing the edges of your anxiety. Transform your perspective to see your thoughts not as anchors, but as boats adrift on the river of time. Allow them to float away, making peace with their departure, for they are not meant to stay forever. Just as Rumi once said, life is a balance of holding on and letting go. You too can find balance by holding on to this moment and letting go of the burden of overthinking. 4. Designate a worry period. It's a familiar scenario, worries that come uninvited, like persistent rain clouds on a forecasted sunny day. These concerns can seep into every nook of our lives if we let them, turning our mental landscape into a damp, dreary place. But what if we could schedule the rain? What if we could confine these worries to their own season? This is where the wisdom of the Stoics intersects with practical modern-day advice, creating a designated worry period. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, advised, true happiness is to keep your mind's nature within its own peace. By allocating a specific time each day to ponder over our problems, we can contain the storm within a time-bound reservoir. Picture it as setting an appointment with your worries, saying, I will attend to you, but only at the right time. During this period, you allow yourself to delve into the depths of what's bothering you, to dissect it, understand it, and question its validity. This isn't about indulging in worry, but about managing it. When thoughts arise outside of this time, gently remind yourself, not now. Picture these worries as emails arriving after business hours. They will be addressed, but in due time. By practicing this, you reclaim the other hours of your day, dedicating them to living fully, free from the shadow of unattended fears. What's more, when you finally sit down with your concerns during this worry period, you may find that the light of focused attention diminishes their darkness. With the clarity of scheduled reflection, worries often reveal themselves to be less formidable than they seemed when lurking in the corners of your mind. 5. Break overwhelming thoughts into actionable steps. Consider for a moment the journey of a mountain climber. Faced with the daunting ascent, it is the single, purposeful step taken repeatedly that conquers the summit. In life, too, we often stand at the base of our own mountains, monolithic challenges and worries that loom large. Yet, just as Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It is in the act of breaking down the insurmountable into the manageable that we find progress. When the weight of overthinking bears down upon you, threatening to entomb you in inaction, recall the wisdom of Rumi. As you start to walk on the way appears. Begin with the smallest of steps, a single action you can take. This is not to oversimplify the complexities of your challenges, but to navigate them one step at a time. Each small victory is a brick laid on the path out of the paralysis of overthinking. For instance, if your mind is a whirlwind of tasks, write them down. Then choose one, just one, and act upon it. With that action, the once overwhelming cacophony of tasks becomes a symphony of progress, each note played in its own time. The mountain of worry becomes a series of gentle slopes, each climb leaving you higher than before, the summit no longer a distant dream but an approaching reality. Embracing this approach transforms the very fabric of overthinking. It shifts the focus from the echo chamber of our minds to the tangible world of action. It is the embodiment of Stoic philosophy, to recognize what is in our control and to act upon it with intention and effort. 6. Cultivate gratitude to shift perspective. In the vast landscape of our minds, it's easy to wander into shadowed valleys where the focus is on what we lack, what's gone wrong, or what we have yet to achieve. These thoughts are like vines that grow unchecked, obscuring the view of the sunlit hills of our accomplishments and the blessings we hold. It's here that the profound simplicity of gratitude can be a guiding light, illuminating our path with warmth and clarity. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This enjoins us to shift our gaze from the barren deserts of our discontent to the fertile plains of gratitude. By recognizing the abundance that already resides in our life, we starve the overgrown weeds of overthinking, allowing the flowers of positivity to bloom. Begin this practice by identifying 3 things you're grateful for each day. They could be as grand as the support of loved ones or as humble as the serene moments of a morning sunrise. Each act of recognition is a star in the night sky of our thoughts, collectively illuminating the darkness of overthinking with constellations of contentment. This daily ritual transforms the energy that feeds overthinking into a celebration of the now. It aligns with the wisdom of the Persian poet Hafez, who reminds us, "Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive." Gratitude renews our relationship with life, encouraging us to embrace our present and to see our glass not as half empty, but as replenishing with each moment of thankful acknowledgement. 7. Prioritize effort over outcome. The maze of overthinking is often mapped with paths that lead to the future, a future painted with brush strokes of uncertainty and shades of potential failure. We fixate on the outcomes, the end results, and in doing so, we render the present moment, a moment of action and life, into a mere stepping stone toward an uncertain destination. This fixation can paralyze us, but the Stoic wisdom handed down by Epictetus gives us a way out. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In other words, let your actions reflect your values, not your fears. This principle teaches us to focus on the effort we put forth, the choices we make right now, and the process rather than the outcome. It echoes the poetic truth found in Rumi's words, "Let the beauty of what you love be what you do." When our actions are a reflection of our love, our passion, and our values, the outcome loses its daunting power over us. It's about stepping into the arena of life, not as a spectator to our own decisions, but as an active participant. When we measure success by the integrity of our efforts, we liberate ourselves from the chains of what if. This shift in focus allows us to take pleasure in the act of doing, to find joy in the journey, and to accept that the fruits of our labor are not always ours to harvest. In practice, this means when you are faced with a challenge, ask yourself, are my actions a reflection of my best self? Am I committed to the process? Am I making decisions that align with my core values? By prioritizing effort over outcome, you find peace in the present task and strength in the knowledge that you are doing all that you can, right here and right now. 8. Embrace voluntary discomfort. The canvas of comfort upon which we paint our daily lives often shrinks at the sight of discomfort, causing our minds to run circles around potential perils and discomforts. It is here, in the avoidance of discomfort, that overthinking finds fertile ground to flourish. But, as Marcus Aurelius counseled us, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, meaning that it is through struggle and effort that we truly come to life. Voluntary discomfort is an exercise in courage and growth. It's a concept that, when woven into the fabric of our lives, can strengthen the mind much like a muscle toughens under resistance. By stepping into the cold waters of chosen challenges, we learn not only to withstand, but also to embrace the ebb and flow of life's uncertainties. To incorporate this into our lives, we might draw upon the reflective wisdom of Hafez, who reminds us, "I have learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew." This universal perspective invites us to step beyond the familiar boundaries of our self-imposed identities and comforts, to voluntarily seek out experiences that challenge and reshape us. Begin with small acts of voluntary discomfort. Maybe it's speaking in public, fasting for a day, or committing to a daily exercise routine, whatever pushes against the edges of your comfort zone. Each act is a step towards resilience, a rehearsal in the art of not just enduring, but finding joy in the challenges that life presents. In practicing voluntary discomfort, we prepare ourselves for the involuntary hardships that life may throw our way. Over time, what once seemed formidable becomes manageable, and our overthinking mind learns to quiet down, assured by our proven ability to handle the previously unhandleable. 9. Reflect on the transience of life. The relentless whirlwind of overthinking often arises from our fixation on the fine print of life's contract, forgetting its inevitable expiration. It's easy to become ensnared in the minutiae, allowing overthinking to cast a shadow over the precious fleeting moments we have. Yet it's the wisdom of Seneca that offers a lantern in the dark, reminding us that we are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it. His words invite us to step back and gaze upon the vast expanse of our existence, recognizing the impermanence that defines it. By embracing the transient nature of life, we see our worries for what they truly are, ephemeral whispers in the grand chorus of existence. As the Persian poet Rumi eloquently put it, "This too shall pass." Whether joyous or sorrowful, every episode of our lives is but a stroke in the grand painting of our existence, destined to fade into the tapestry of time. This perspective invites us to ask ourselves during moments of overthinking, will this matter in a year, in a decade, or at the end of my journey? More often than not, the answer is a resounding no. The practice of reflecting on life's transience is a powerful tool. It allows us to sift through the clutter of our thoughts, holding on to what enriches our time and letting go of what diminishes it. When overthinking tries to anchor us to the ground, let us remember that, like the sky, Our lives are in constant motion, always changing, always evolving. Let the knowledge that each moment is a rare gem, never to be lived again, empower us to live fully, love deeply, and let go of the unnecessary burden of overthinking. 10. Seek external wisdom. Our minds can sometimes resemble echo chambers, amplifying our doubts and fears until they drown out reason. In the solitary confinement of our own thoughts, overthinking can seem like an unbeatable foe. It's in these moments that we can turn to the words of the great Persian poet Hafez, who said, "The words we speak become the house we live in." When we're trapped in a house of overthinking, it can be transformative to open the doors to the wisdom of others. The Stoics, including Seneca, understood the value of external perspectives. He advised, "Consult your friend on everything, especially on those matters concerning yourself. His counsel may then be useful where your own self-love might impair your judgment. Indeed, seeking the counsel of friends, mentors, or the timeless knowledge found in books can act as a lighthouse guiding us through the fog of our own repetitive thoughts. Engaging with the insights of others allows us to break free from the cycle of rumination, whether it's the comforting words of a friend or the profound verses of Rumi, who reminds us that the cure for pain is in the pain. Seeking external wisdom is a recognition that sometimes the path to clarity is illuminated by the light of others' experiences and insights. In practice, this means actively reaching out for advice when we find ourselves sinking into overthinking. It's about being open to new ideas, challenging our own assumptions, and allowing the fresh air of different perspectives to clear the stuffiness of our worn-out thought patterns. By inviting external wisdom into our internal dialogue, we not only gain clarity, but also remind ourselves of our shared humanity. We learn that our problems are not so unique, and that the wisdom to overcome them has often already been written in the pages of history. Let us be humble enough to seek it and wise enough to embrace it. As our exploration of taming the overactive mind draws to a close, remember that every step you take on this path is a testament to your strength and willingness to grow. The ancient wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Rumi, and Hafez has been a guiding star for us today. But the journey doesn't end here. If you've found solace and strength in our shared quest for tranquility, I invite you to continue this voyage with us. Dive deeper into the realms of self-discovery and enlightenment by exploring our curated playlists right here on the channel. Your next step towards inner peace is just one click away. Your support means the world to us. It fuels our mission to bring timeless wisdom to the modern mind. If you wish to support our work further, consider purchasing a book from our Amazon affiliate selection. Each read is a treasure trove of insights selected to empower and inspire you on your journey. And if you feel moved to support us directly, the Buy Me a Coffee link is a way to show your love and ensure that this wellspring of wisdom continues to flow. Thank you for being here, for subscribing, and for walking this path with us. Together, let's continue to seek out the light of wisdom that shines through the words of the wise, to brighten our days and guide us through the nights. Until next time, keep the flame of curiosity alight, and may your journey be ever rewarding.